what we have here is another Hunter original. But this one's not any ordinary original. Nah. This one's Adaptair. And it's Oakleaf. Yummy. And it's antique brass. Isn't that fun? Now, yeah, so this particular original, as you can tell kind of by the tag, though you can't really see the serial number. Or maybe you can. Anyway. This one is from January of 1983. It's the newer mid-80s tag. So you're probably wondering, why the hell is there Adaptair, or why the hell is this fan Adaptair? Well, this is why. In the early 80s, in 1981, Hunter basically only offered reverse air. Reverse air was the standard of fare when it came to the blade sets that they offered. So reverse air was standard in 81. Before then, you could get two types of blade irons, either standard non-reversible or Adaptair. This choice, or these two choices, lasted up until 1980. Like I said, from 81, reverse air was standard. So this fan, being from 83, you're thinking, again, why is it Adaptair? And this is why. Because up until 1984, motor and blade sets were sold separately. Meaning irons and blades were sold as a set, and motors were sold individually. So you'd mix and match blades to get what you wanted. Now, in the early 80s, maybe also late 70s, they also offered 3 ornate bottom plates, accessory plates for the motor. So, one of them is known as Ivyleaf, which tends to be the more common type. This one, as seen here, is Oakleaf. Note the nuts and the leaves. Yummy. And the third one was known as Ivyleaf, which, if you're wondering what that looks like, just think of an ornate SMC A52. Or one of the ornate SMC A52s. It was sort of like a basket weave pattern with some ivy leaves within. So yeah. When this fan was new in the early 80s, in this case 1983, there was still a lot of NOS floating around showrooms and shops and what have you. That being new old stock. In other words, older stock sitting on the shelves that hasn't been sold yet, which isn't quite the same as the current stock. So, I figure this fan originally would have had reverse air blades, alright? It would have come with reverse air blades if they were available. Now I'm thinking, this fan, and wherever they bought this from, did not have reverse air blades in stock, and what they did have was an Adaptair set. And that's what this fan has. So, now this one, again, it should also be noted that it is, again, antique brass. Yeah, antique brass in the R&M era was not a common finish. In fact, it never really was. And at some point in the late 90s, or early 2000s, they actually, sometime in the late 90s, they actually discontinued antique brass. Now, R&M's antique brass, it really likes to tarnish, as you see here. I'm not sure why their antique brass finish was so poor in the sense, or so, you know, poor in the sense that it would tarnish so easily, but yeah, it is. So a lot of antique brass fans that you see are just grayish brown colored because they've just completely lost their finish. So finding one with its finish mostly intact, it's no small feat. And the top of the motor, I mean, oh boy. And there's also there's the label, which I cleaned off. It's model 23837. So, now we're going to see how this thing performs. Shall we? This motor is 2-speed. In '83, the shaded pole motor became available in 3-speed. This lasted into 1984, and mid-1984 the motors were switched to PSC after R&M got out of the business. So, see how it does. Starting it on low. I have it full of SAE 30. Even though the rotor had no play in it. It had no lateral play. I still figured, hey, might as well throw 30 in it since that's what I have on stock. So, it's your typical R&M low speed. Or it's kind of like a medium low compared to other fans. Of course, the motor has a slight hum to it. Now, it came with a light kit and glass, also a canopy, which is currently AWOL. The light kit is a Hunter light kit. The glass, who knows? But I don't have it currently. So now let's go to high. Certainly is moving a lot of air, as it should. It has a bit of a running hum to it, which is somewhat typical for R&M originals. Now we're going to let it coast. By the way, the blades are oak, which was one of the nicer options that R&M offered. Okay, now the fun begins. Now you're probably wondering, this is Adaptair, right? How does it work? Well, here we've got a little turnkey. So what's it gonna do? You've seen how reverse air works, where they're spring-loaded irons where we have to press each one individually to reverse each iron. But Adaptair for the 52-inch fans? Nope. It is simple as 1, 2, or all 4 blades rotate at once. So we're going to reverse. And now we have a different dynamic. So now the blades have an 18-degree pitch. Because like reverse air, Adaptair had a higher pitch in reverse or an updraft than it did in downdraft. Downdraft had a pitch of 15 degrees, updraft is 18. So, let's see how it does now. As expected, it's a bit slower in updraft because of the obviously increased pitch. Now in updraft, the speed is still about that of a medium-low, albeit slightly slower. And there's a bit of wobble. Now let's go to high. I would say high speed's about 165 versus the 200 in downdraft mode. Maybe 170 on high. Now, let's let it coast again. Now, the Oakleaf bottom plate also came with an ornate canopy and ornate embellishments, of which you could either bolt on or glue on to the side of the motor housing. This doesn't have those, unfortunately. And of course, also, Homestead and a couple other manufacturers also offered third-party, bottom plate kits for originals in various finishes: chrome, copper, nickel, ornate. Homestead in particular also offered kits for the 36-inch originals, which Hunter never did offer. So, good on them. So, there you have it. A Hunter original Oakleaf with Adaptair.